Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Alien Romulus. And this is the latest film in the Alien franchise that is now the reins being taken over by director Fede Alvarez, who previously did films like his own Evil Dead remake and Don't Breathe. And this particular film finds a group of young colonists who wind up on a derelict space station and are trying to scavenge, making their way out of the hands of the Weyland Corporation and trying to find new life. And they sure find some new life. Just the living organisms that they find are absolutely terrifying, and yes, they find themselves on a space station filled with facehuggers and xenomorphs. And this film, like I mentioned, is directed by Fede Alvarez, who co-wrote the screenplay. And this film is directed just impeccably. Fede Alvarez understands the atmosphere, understands what made the first Alien and Alien so effective. The practicality, where there's so much of the ship that is real. You're on a set. There's the xenomorphs and beings that you see in this film are actors acting out much of the time. And there's just puppetry that is really impressive that makes this feel so tangible. And the visual effects, when they do use CGI, is breathtaking. This film looks absolutely amazing. You would hope that most big budget blockbusters would look this good. And you have the score from Benjamin Wallfish that feels dynamic and terrifying and engrossing at times. It really fits the atmosphere that Fede Alvarez is trying to create here. And there is a unsettling, unnerving atmosphere. The tension and suspense is off the charts. There's some great scares. The way that the camera from cinematographer Gallo Olivares is able to really accentuate the xenomorphs, the pods, and really capture in such an effective and poignant and intimate way the added layers of themes of reproduction and sex organs and that uncomfortable kind of feeling of rape and just that visceral aspect of what was always underneath the surface with Alien, the way that things are just captured in this film. And this film is incredibly shot. Everything looks so great. The natural lighting and smoke and all of those kinds of things that really bring things together. So from a technical standpoint, this film is an achievement. Story-wise, I think it has an interesting setup of this group of young people who find themselves on this ship. They run into not necessarily the same character from a previous Alien film, but a previous actor playing a similar type character that really completely upends the plot to this film and really refocuses what is really going on this ship. How they bring this character to life is a little unnerving and a little suspect and feels a little weird. But the idea of this character, who winds up being a significant presence in this film, and what's really going on this ship really ties a lot of threads together from the Alien franchise, from all the way to Prometheus, all the way up to like Alien Resurrection, which never thought that I would have a reference to that film ever again. And this film takes some crazy creative leaps. The third act, something happens here that is bonkers and will be nightmare fuel for me for the rest of my life. But it is something that is eerie and unnerving and an interesting and wild direction that they take the Weyland Corporation and what you do with these xenomorphs, the ultimate weapon ever created. And those elements work. I think the core of the film really is Kaylee Spaney's reign and her relationship with her android, Andy, played by David Johnson. They're the emotional core of this film. Their dynamic is really what propels this film forward, and where the journey that Andy goes on with new programming that he acquires from the ship really makes some complex elements and really challenges you with some uncomfortable moral gray areas that are very compelling and interesting. And outside of Rain and Andy, I feel like a lot of all the other characters are really disposable, which is unfortunate because this is living in the shadow of Alien and Aliens, which were two films that expertly crafted casts of memorable ensembles of characters, and I feel like a lot of these films have failed to be able to do that since. A lot of times they get big names. Here, these are not big names, but unfortunately the characters are also very forgettable, and I think the performances are kind of forgettable too. But I do have to shout out Isabella Merced, who plays Kay, who's a pregnant woman. She actually has some good moments of like Scream Queen type elements, but the real performance is Spaney gives a really great performance, but it's Johnson that delivers such an impressive performance that is dynamic and interesting and engaging. This film has some obvious flaws to me, but so much of it is so impeccably done that this film is still arguably a great film and delivers on so many great things, and this is a really satisfying addition to this franchise, and definitely the best film since Aliens. Not the hugest bar, but for somebody who likes Prometheus and Alien Covenant a lot more than a lot of people, this is easily the best film since those original two and fits up there really well. And special shout out to the big climactic, like, special effects driven elements of the film, because there's this ticking time bomb element as well of this space station about to collide with a meteor field around this planet, and the spectacle of it, the scale of it is incredible. They went all out. Alvarez really got a big win with this one. But those are my thoughts on Alien Romulus. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.